Okay. Wow. Okay, so this year's Eurovision has been one of my favourites ever in terms of the music. In terms of the voting and the results, what happened? I mean, I think we knew it would be all over the place, but I didn't know it would be that all over the place. The songs in the top 10, I didn't think would be in the top 10, and the songs in the bottom 10 or the bottom 5 that I didn't think would be there. The winner is Israel, the early fan favourite. Okay, so I didn't think it would win. I thought it was too predictable and too obvious, and in the weeks leading up to the final and the semi-finals, I think people thought that it had peaked too early and that it wouldn't do quite as well. I thought it would flop, but I didn't think it would flop that badly. I thought it would be in the top 10, but I just thought it wasn't going to win. The hype around it had started to fade away, and a lot of people thought it would be like Italy last year, and that's what I thought it would be like too. I thought the public might take it as like a novelty act, but obviously they loved it. I'll talk more about Israel later. I'm just looking at the scoreboard. I'm looking at France. At the bottom of the left-hand side, not even in the top 10, which to me is just unbelievable, but I'll come back to that later. And I will talk about the UK and the stage invasion. I feel awful for Surrey, but I'll talk about that later. But to make this vlog easier for me, rather than me just talking randomly, I'm going to go through every country from the bottom of the scoreboard to the top and just analyse everything. So on the morning of the final, yesterday morning, I made a few last minute predictions just for a bit of fun. I predicted who would be in the bottom 5, who would be in the top 4 or 5, and the songs that wouldn't do as well as people thought. So for the bottom 5, I predicted Slovenia, Serbia, the UK, Portugal and Spain, and I actually got 4 of those right, so that's not too bad. So Portugal came last. I'm not really that shocked at that. I thought it would be somewhere in the bottom 5, and it didn't really stand out from the others. Finland, second from the bottom. I'm surprised at that. I thought she'd do way better than that. I knew that she wouldn't do that well, maybe not top 10, but second from last? Yeah, I'm surprised at that. And with Portugal, the host country doesn't normally do that well anyway, but yeah. Okay, the UK. Oh my god, wow. So I feel awful for what happened to Suri. This guy came on stage, grabbed the microphone. I'm not even sure what he said. I thought he said something like justice for Russia, but I think he said something about the UK media. I'll have to Google it, I'm not sure, but I was shocked, and I thought that they would stop the performance, but she carried on, which was great, and I felt awful for her because there's one part after the security guard drags the guy off the stage, she looks at him and she goes like that. She looks at him and you can tell that she's so angry, like she's saying, thanks a lot, you just ruined my moment, and it's just so bad. But what I love is how she carried on with even more determination, and the lyrics matched what she was saying. She was saying, hold your head up, don't give up, and she was singing it with even more passion. So yeah, and I love how even before the stage invasion, the crowd were loving it. They were really getting into it, and I thought, oh, people are liking this. Maybe it won't do that badly. But yeah, that guy who got on the stage, what an idiot, you know? What is the point in doing that? Poor girl. But yeah, she was offered to perform again at the end, and she didn't want to. I mean, I understand that she didn't want to because she must have been very shaken up by what happened, but I think it would have been good if she did do it again, because she would do it again with no interruptions, and it might have even benefited her and given her a few more points because people are hearing the song again. But I understand that she didn't want to, but it would have been nice if she did. After that happened, I found it hard to focus on the next few songs, and I know that on Twitter people were saying that as well. People were like, oh, I can't even concentrate now, I can't carry on enjoying it after that. And yeah, it's such a shame. Yeah, it's just looked so angry at what happened, and I feel like in some ways she is like a winner in her own right because of that, because of what happened. In terms of the song, we came 24th, third from the bottom. I had a feeling we wouldn't do well. I think everyone knew that, but the song isn't bad. Like, it's not one of our worst entries. It's a good song, but I think in this year, which has been a really good and strong year, it just wasn't good enough. Spain, I knew wouldn't do very well. Slovenia, yeah, I didn't think that they would do very well. I'm actually surprised that she even qualified. So yeah, Hungary, oh, I feel bad for Hungary. I thought they would be in the top 10. I thought people at home would love that. So yeah, I thought Hungary would get way more than that. Yeah, I'm disappointed with that. Australia, I put that in my list of songs that wouldn't do as well as expected. So okay, I was right with that. I do like the song, and I thought she performed it quite well. But yeah, they came last in the televote. That was quite surprising. I didn't think it was that bad. Serbia, when they qualified, I was really happy because I've always liked that song, and I was pleasantly surprised that they qualified. So for them to be in the final is good, and they did okay. I didn't expect them to do that well, but yeah. The Netherlands, I knew he wouldn't do that well, and at one point before the semi-finals, when people saw the staging, we thought it would be like a borderline qualifier, so he's done fairly well. Ukraine, I think he came last in the jury vote. He picked up a few more votes from the public. I thought he might do a bit better than that, but yeah, that's okay. Ireland should be proud because first of all, they've qualified for the first time in like, what, 4 years? So they're in the final. The song's actually grown on me. I didn't used to like it. I used to think it was boring, but now I do I like it a bit more now. Yeah, at one point, Ireland were like really high in the odds for like a few days, but yeah, I thought he might have done a tiny bit better, but Ireland should be proud just for being here. Norway, well, that whole idea of Alexander Rybak winning it again, well, that didn't work out. Although I thought he would do a bit better than that. Even though I don't really like the song that much, I do like the staging and the performance itself, but just not the actual song. But yeah, I thought he would do a bit better. Bulgaria, again, Bulgaria were in my list of songs that were favourites to start off with, but then wouldn't do as well. So yeah, I'm not surprised that Bulgaria flopped. I thought they would. I thought they might have got a little bit higher, but I thought they were in danger of not being in the top 10, and they weren't in the top 10. I think, again, when you hear the studio version for the first time, it sounded great, but then live, it didn't really come to life as much as you would want it to. I do find the staging a bit underwhelming. Oh no, here we go. Okay, France, 13th. So if you watch my videos, you know that France was my personal favourite this year and my personal winner. And it was one of the potential winners not right from the start, but it gained momentum about like a month or two ago, and it has been one of the potential winners. And it didn't even get top 10. I mean, when Madame Monsieur finished performing, I did have a bad feeling about it. I thought there was something not quite right, like the connection with the audience. Okay, they were doing the hand choreography thing, but it still, something didn't feel right, and I started feeling very worried for France, and I thought, oh no, I don't think they're going to win anymore. People obviously didn't get the message of Mercy, although I love how the song actually fits in really well with the theme of this year, which is all aboard. It fits in perfectly. Yeah, people obviously didn't get the message, and yeah. Another thing, I think that song works better on like a smaller stage, a more intimate stage. Maybe in the arena it did get a bit lost, but yeah, it just goes to show that most viewers on the night of the final are hearing these songs for the first time, and they don't know the backstory, and they're just judging it by what they see in that 3 minutes of time. And yeah, it obviously didn't stand out on the night, unfortunately. But yeah, when they started the voting, I think the first country or the first jury was Ukraine, and they gave 12 points to France. At that point, I thought, okay, here we go. Paris 2019, here we come. And then it went downhill from there. They had like 4 points, 5 points, 8 points from some countries. From some juries, they got no points at all. They got a few more points from the public vote, but I just can't believe how much it flopped. France was robbed, absolutely robbed. It is one of the best songs in the contest this year, one of the best French entries, one of my favourite Eurovision songs of all time ever, and it will still be my personal winner of this year. I just can't believe it didn't even get top 5, top 10. Like, for me, it's the biggest robbery, the biggest crime of this year. But yeah, people didn't appreciate it as much as I thought they would. I actually think the song is too good for Eurovision. There we go, I said it. But yeah, I'm shocked of how much this was robbed. But anyway, Lithuania, you know, this song has really grown on me. Again, like Ireland and Lithuania have both grown on me over the past few days. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of this song, but now I'm starting to really like it, and I actually prefer her vocals in the live version than in the studio version. Yeah, I'm glad this did well, because in terms of the ballads, it was one of the best, and she sounded so good, and it's such a lovely song. So yeah, well done, Lithuania. Albania, again, it's grown on me. I wasn't sure if it would qualify, but it did. I'm glad that it did qualify as well. I think it deserved to, and it did really well. So Albania is a pleasant surprise. Oh, I think I'm in the top 10 now. Okay, so Moldova made the top 10. Yeah, again, Moldova was like a really, and it's, well, not that unexpected, but a pleasant surprise, because the staging was really good, really memorable. It definitely stood out, and it was very old school Eurovision, 90s, 80s. So I think people at home might have really been impressed by it, especially maybe some of the older generation, maybe, but in a good way. So yeah, I did have a feeling that Moldova would be just about in the top 10, so I'm not surprised at that. Denmark, I'm happy for Denmark. Higher Ground has always been one of my favourites of the year. It's my number 4 in my top 43. It's always been my number 4. I don't think I've ever moved it down or up. I'm glad that he made the top 10. I wasn't sure if he would quite get to the top 10. I guess that the public at home, again, seeing it for the first time, the whole Viking, Game of Thrones vibe, people obviously liked it, and I'm glad, because I love that song. Estonia and Sweden, well, I knew they'd be in the top 10 somewhere. Sweden did really well with the juries, but not very well at all with the public, which everyone was quite surprised at. I thought he would do better with the televote. I thought people would like the Justin Bieber, Michael Jackson kind of vibe to it, but with that song, again, I feel like the live vocals aren't quite as good as the studio version. The studio version is better than the live, and yeah, but I mean, yeah, he's in the top 10, which I'm not surprised. I thought he would be actually in the top 5 or top 4. But yeah, a bit of a shock with the televote not really liking him. But yeah, he still did well. Czech Republic, well, he's got the best ever result for the Czech Republic, so well done. Personally, I wouldn't put him in the top 10. He's not in my top 10. I've always found the song a bit overrated, but yeah, I'm not surprised that people liked it. Italy came 5th. Okay, so France and Italy, as you probably know from my other videos, are my top 2 of the year. France has been my favourite, Italy my second favourite. So if France didn't win, then I wanted Italy to win, or Cyprus. So whereas I'm devastated for France, I'm really happy for Italy. I was really worried about Italy. I've been worried about them for a while now. I always thought they were like an underdog and the dark horse, and in some ways they were. I thought it would be the other way round. I thought the public wouldn't like it, but I thought the jury would. But it was the complete opposite. They didn't get many points from the jury at all. They got 12 from Albania, but I think that was obvious because Irmal is from Albania. But yeah, so after the jury vote, they were quite low, and then with the public vote, they completely shot up. So I'm glad that the public got behind it, because I didn't think they would appreciate it. But they did. So maybe having the lyrics on the screen did help, and maybe the powerful message behind the song did obviously come across to some people, which is great. It obviously didn't work for France, but it worked for Italy. I thought France would do a bit better than Italy, but yeah, I'm so happy for Italy that they came 5th. I think they deserve more. I think I would have liked to see Italy win, but I didn't really expect them to. I didn't want to get my hopes up, but yeah. Italy actually came 3rd overall in the televoting, which is so much better than what I thought would happen. So, you know, I mean, I'm really unhappy for France, but Italy have made up for that. So, yeah, well done, public, for getting behind Italy. I didn't think you would. I thought the juries would. But yeah, you know, France and Italy, they're both my favourites of the year. I think they both deserved better, especially France. Germany came 4th, unexpected, but in a good way. I knew that Germany would do better than they've been doing over the past few years. They've been coming last, or at least close to last, over the past like 4 or 5 years. So I knew that this song deserved way better than what they've been getting lately. I didn't think he'd do that well. I'm glad that he's done well. He got loads of 12 points from the juries. The song is very contemporary, and Graham Norton, our commentator, said that he's like the German Ed Sheeran, and he is, because he sounds like him, and that's probably one of the reasons why people liked it. It added to the appeal of it, that his voice sounds very mainstream, like something that you hear in the charts today. And you know, it's a very emotional message about his father, and he had, like Italy, he did have lyrics behind him on the stage, so that worked for him as well. But yeah, this is Germany's best result since Lena won in 2010, I think, and it's deserved. I didn't expect him to do that well, but I'm glad that he has. They should be proud of that. Okay, 3rd place, Austria. This is one of the biggest shocks of the night. Nobody expected Austria to do as well as they did. It literally came from nowhere. They were getting 12 points from loads of juries, and I just thought, where's this coming from? Like, why Austria? I know the song is good. Again, like Germany, it's very mainstream. It has a very rag and bone man kind of vibe to it. But did anyone expect Austria to do that well? No, I don't think anybody did. It's interesting how that song was actually offered to the UK for the UK's national selection, You Decide, but they turned it down. So yeah, the song that came 3rd could have been the UK's entry. Wow. So Israel and Cyprus, top 2. Out of those two, I prefer Cyprus. So I would rather Cyprus have won than Israel. that's just my personal opinion. I just prefer Fuego to Toy. I like Toy. It grew on me after a while. It's not like I don't like the song. I just prefer Fuego personally. We knew that Cyprus would do well. It's my personal number 3 in my top 43. Such a catchy song that I think deserves to chart like worldwide. I think Fuego should be in the charts in the UK and all over Europe. It's such a good song. I'm happy for Cyprus. And to be honest, in Eurovision, I normally prefer the runner-up to the winner anyway. Like in 2014, the Common Linux, I preferred them. I wanted them to win. I know that lots of other people did. 2015, who was the runner-up? Russia, again. I like that song as well. So yeah, I always seem to prefer the runner-up to the winner. It happens every time. Or if not the runner-up, then the 3rd or 4th place. So yeah, between Israel and Cyprus, I would have preferred Cyprus. So yeah, I've gone through the order of the 26 in the final. The results were all over the place. I'm not that happy with the results, unfortunately. Especially France. France were robbed. Like, that is, like, to me, like the biggest crime in Eurovision in a long time. But yeah, France and Italy and Cyprus are still my winners. In terms of the show itself, the 4 hosts, they were okay. They were fairly good. The interval acts and the opening acts were awful, really boring. But I feel like interval acts over the past few years are getting more and more boring. So yeah, wasn't a fan of that. The show was good. I liked the graphics, I liked the all aboard theme, I liked the postcards. I just felt like Kiev and Stockholm put on more of a show than Portugal did. But yeah, there wasn't a lot going on in between. But I think because it was such a good year with loads of good songs, I think the interval acts were just something to pass the time because the voting was so important, so we didn't focus on the interval acts. But yeah, I think Kiev and Stockholm, just the show itself was just a bit better. So for me, the most shocking moments of the final were Austria doing as well as they did, because I don't think anyone expected that. What happened to Suri, the stage invasion, that was really shocking and just awful. I feel awful for Suri. And for me, the fact that France were robbed was just a shock. I'm never going to get over that. Let's just face it, I'm not going to get over that. But yeah, so the winner, like, I'm not too fussed over. Although I definitely prefer Neta's song to Salvador's song from last year. Definitely, no doubt about that. And it was so awkward to see Salvador giving the trophy to Neta, because he was quite rude towards her a few weeks ago. He said something about her song, that it was rubbish or something. So that must have been really awkward, because that is what Salvador hates. But Toy is a fun and memorable song. I'm not that surprised that it won. But every year, the song that I want to win never wins, and I don't know why I do this to myself. Like, I love Eurovision, but I never like the results, and I'm sure lots of fans out there agree with me or have the same issue. In terms of the quality of the songs, one of my favourite years ever. I think it was actually even better than last year. I think it topped last year. The voting was all over the place, and I think we knew that it would be, and it just goes to show how much of an unpredictable year this year was. It was such a diverse and open year, which is why I think it was one of the best. I will definitely go back and watch it again on YouTube. I always do that because whenever I watch the final, I'm always on my phone keeping up with Twitter, so it's quite hard to concentrate on your Twitter timeline and the final, and the voting as well. It goes by really quickly, so you have to go back and watch the voting again and analyse everything again. So we finished for another year. I'm gonna carry on making videos. I'm gonna redo my top 40. Well, I might not redo my top 43, but I will make a top 26 from the final because there are songs that have grown on me. And I'll be making other videos. I'll be looking at old entries. I'll be doing all sorts of other videos, so stay tuned. So thank you to everyone who has been commenting on my videos so far. I love reading the comments and replying to them and having conversations with you all. We all have different tastes in music, so I'm just giving my opinion, which will be different to other people. It might be the same to other people, and that is why it's so interesting, because we all have completely different tastes. I'm thinking of doing like a Q&A video, so you can comment below on this video and ask me anything related to Eurovision. So it doesn't have to be about 2018, it could be about any other year. It could be, I don't know, what's your guilty pleasure, who's your favourite winner, that kind of thing. If I don't get many comments, then that's fine. I won't do the Q&A video, but if I do, then I will do it. But yeah, this year I was more excited than ever before. I think it's because I got even more involved in it than ever before. I mean, first of all, it's the first year that I actually made YouTube videos, which is good. The first year that I watched more national finals than ever before. I just got even more involved in it than I thought I ever could. So yeah, I can't wait for next year. I need to recover from what happened last night. I'm still really confused by the voting, especially the jury voting. But yeah, thank you for watching. This video must be like really long, but if you watch the whole thing, then thank you. Comment below, let me know what you thought of the final. Do you agree with the winner? Who did you want to win? What was your favourite moment from the final? Yeah, I shall see you soon. Bye.